Hello, welcome back. Tonight I would love to talk about King Paimon. King Paimon is a character from my book called King Paimon, the Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss. And he's a very beautiful figure in history as well, no? So to say King Paimon, it is part fantasy, part reality, as everything exists in two different very different poles, no? But both are true. They say that reality doesn't exclude fiction and fiction doesn't exclude reality. They work hand in hand, and it's very much representative of King Paimon as well. I mean, his being is shrouded in darkness, in things that are not yet known. It is a mystical figure, no? He is first of all a character in my book. He is a king. He is a magician as well, magician of the West. He is the king of the abyss, no? He has dominion over that darkness that we cannot truly understand without going deeper into his teachings and in his mysticism, in his knowledge as well. So my book is somehow a revelation about him and himself, as well as new teachings or new understanding, no? In general, the grimoires, which is a grimoire, my book is a grimoire, but it's not a grimoire in the sense of a practical book of spells or anything like that. It is a literary work, but it is a grimoire because it dwells in the esoteric knowledge. And King Paimon, everything that reaches or speaks about King Paimon is part of occult knowledge. It is part of spiritual knowledge. It is part of magical knowledge as well, no? So finally, my books are my grimoires, because I have written others, not only on King Paimon. They are magical books, more than a practical spell will give you, because words are spells, and they have their own magic. It's almost to say it is a underlayout of my book. But first and foremost, it is a literary work. My grimoires are fantasy, literal work. They are written in verse. There is poetry. They are created in poems, in poem form, in a poetic form, no? And it dwells on the story of King Paimon and everything that he is, where large parts of the book, it is a large book, it's more than 700 pages, so a big part of this book is King Paimon himself talking throughout the book, and then we have other characters, other persona that enter in the book, men and women, that talk with King Paimon, and this is like recounts from the history where other people have contacted King Paimon and what happened in those moments. So it is for us, the readers, as well, to learn from those experiences. And then the story goes further on, where King Paimon travels through the desert, and he meets a girl that plays music, and it is like a meeting of the wind, of the silence of King Paimon with the sound of music, a sound of love, no? So the story reaches then a more high timeline where she travels with him through the desert, and their love story unfolds. So it is a part love story as well. In a way of understanding that the true alchemy of the soul is love, even for a being as King Paimon, that say, well, he spent all his life by himself, shrouded in this knowledge and his dominion and this abyss that he rules, but his true self came out through that love, through that girl that he met. So it is a poetic celebration of love throughout the darkness of the abyss and the coldness of the abyss, where King Paimon was residing all by himself, all alone, for eternity, because he is the eternal being. And then what happened when the door of love opened to him unexpectedly, and it changed his life, it changed his being, it changed his understanding of the world, or of everything that he has learned. And it is almost to say, well, when I was writing the book, when I first started to think about King Paimon and what he represents, I felt that sadness, of that emptiness, of that immense knowledge, and at the same time this immense loneliness, that he didn't have anyone. He was all by himself. So I felt very deep love for him, that I created throughout my book now, to have this girl reach him, to have this love reach him, to open that light towards that abyss where he resides. It is a very beautiful book. It is a grimoire called King Paimon, Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss, written by me, Anais Giulia. I'm the author of this book. I invite you to buy this book. It's a very beautiful book. You can find it on Amazon internationally. I just write there King Paimon by Anais Giulia, and you're going to find my book. And tonight I would love to talk about other knowledge that King Paimon always kindly gives us, no? Because you say, well, the work on my book has finished last year, but through these recordings I continue to think and meditate upon this big subject, this important subject that I will carry within me all my life, and I want to share with others knowledge or things that can help us in our journey as well. No, it is very particular type of knowledge or particular type of subject that I'm discussing here. I like to keep things simple, but sometimes, you know, the ideas to come in different waves or different forms, and one has to be able to transfer that information to himself or herself. So it does require some type of correlation between me, you know, my voice, what I'm thinking, and the person who listens to it. But I think King Paimon has a very beautiful way to send his information, send his knowledge, or send his messages towards us, through us, you know. So everything has a double meaning. Everything works in doubles. So everything is some type of like a transfer, no, of information. I have this from here, I give it there, that person, no, it moves through. Nothing is stagnant. And even the abyss, now we imagine it as a dark, empty, void place of nothingness. Through my recordings and through my meditation, I have reached the point to understand that actually that void, that silence, that darkness of the abyss is full of potential, full of knowledge, full of wisdom, full of information, full of everything that comes to us, especially in the thought plane. It comes from that place of the abyss, because everything that has not been formed yet resides in the abyss. So it means every time we reach for information, or we talk, or we try to get ideas or answers, come from King Paimon, because he has the dominion of the abyss, no? Comes from that abyss, because the abyss, the darkness, is the potential of everything that has not been yet done or thought or created or manifested. So there is an entire power from that point of view, and there is an entire power that King Paimon carries within him, through him, a lot of knowledge that he carries as well. This is a recording of a larger playlist where I do different recordings, and in many recordings I speak I touch upon different subjects for meditative purposes as well, as mirror magic, the black door, the black mirror, the abyss, the void, the silence, the understanding of how things move beyond the veil, how things come to us, how things work, what can we find, what can we expect, how we can connect to that space as well, how we can connect to King Paimon as well. King Paimon is always something very beneficial that carries a lot of potential, a lot of beauty, a lot of understanding. So it is a very mind-opening, eye-opening experience when one works with him. While I was working on the book, he was very like a strict teacher. He was helping me create the book, create a story. After I had different visions with him while I was writing the book that inspired me throughout the layout of the book, how things moved, I included those experiences which felt somehow supernatural. They felt very real, they felt very alive. So it was a beautiful experience. And it calmed me in certain ways, no? And say, well, that abyss that seemed so frightening in the beginning, and that it seemed so empty, almost scared to touch upon, scared to talk about, no, has revealed its own beauty, has revealed its own majesty, it's revealed its own power, and it is a place of potential, a subliminal space where things do come in fruition, where we can agree upon it, where we can find help within its walls, no? So, well, we can take a part of the abyss. We don't have to work with the entire abyss, no? So, well, the micro and the macro, no? So there is always elements, so, well, in the microcosmos, in the micro elements, the elements we find there, we are going to find in the big macro as well, because it's the same thing, just more of it, no? So, we can simplify things as well, and it is very helpful to have this knowledge as well, I think, because I have learned from King Paimon that the magic of my own being resides not in controlling my words or controlling my thoughts, not being honest to me, but letting that experience happen naturally as it comes, even if somehow it's not so linear as I would like, or it's not so controlled as I would like. But it gives so much freedom, gives so much strength in my words, the way I talk, and say, well, I'm a writer. I feel more at ease when I write, because on the page, I can always change the words. But when I talk, I don't have that amount of control. And King Paimon has taught me in my own being to be more aware and to be more free in my speech and let things come as they are in that moment of creation. So everything happens in that moment where I'm thinking about this. I am in the present moment when I'm talking, and the ideas are in front of me and I reach them, but it is not a huge space, no? And before that, I almost let myself levitate in that abyss and say, well, I don't know what I'm talking tonight necessarily. I don't have like a prescribed thematic, but things always develop the way that should develop. There is a certain type of trust that I carry within the teaching of King Paimon, the way I was playing music before I connected and met King Paimon. After it's say, well, I am my own master, and the pleasure of me creating and that kingship over my own craft upon my own word, it is something that I have to celebrate and I have to honor and see it in a beautiful way, to not feel criticized or not feel well, I'm not good enough, when actually the truth is not that. No, the truth is that it should not be this comparison. We should not have these ideas in our hands, or in our heads. So we are able to take everything that happened, and one thought I have brings to the other thought. So there is always a connection to everything. So there is no need to stumble necessarily, and even if you stumble, then that stumble brings you to the other next step. So everything is connected, everything is one in one, and it is in a way very freeing, and it's almost like there is a more deep connection, a more honest connection, to King Paimon as well. So King Paimon wants to say there is no need to rush, there is no need to be anyone or anything else than you are. In that moment is more than enough, and you can always be more, but you can never be less. And you have never been less, there is a certain level that one has, and even if we humans, we always put and make ourselves less, we say, well, it's so false. We never are less, we're always more. And that's something that we can celebrate, and something that we can take pride in. It's nothing wrong to have pride in ourselves, and say, well, there are different teachings, and say the things that we have been taught, the way to be, a lot of things have to be put into the abyss, into that forgottenness realm, no? Say, well, if things come from the abyss to us, we are able to transfer things into the abyss that we don't need anymore. Say, I don't need to feel guilty, I don't need to, or I don't want, no, I don't want to feel less, I don't want to criticize myself, I don't want to anything that it's heavy on our armor, on our chest, no? Say, well, I can choose to see myself in a light where I have my badges of honor, I have my stars, I have and it has nothing to do with my accomplishments. It's just the celebration of life that flows through me, the celebration of who I am. And I think it speaks very much about God as well, no? Say, well, if God created us, we can only celebrate his creation for us being honored and brave and courageous and I say, and even selfish in some way, to say, yes, I am good, yes, I am something to be celebrated, and I am doing great, and I am unique, and I am special, and I am even more than that, no? There's always say, well, it is good to be humble, but it's not to say it's not true, no? To say, well, if to be humble is to speak lies, then I don't want to be humble, no? And say, well, of course I'm humble, because that's not the point of the exercise, me to speak highly of myself, but those people who understand and are awakened, they will understand that my words don't speak about me actually, but it speaks about the acknowledgement of something that is higher than us, no? And we are connecting to that power and connecting to other things that are beyond us, and we know that they have more knowledge, or they are more old than us. They have knowledge that we probably are not able to reach, that high light or high timeline they reside in, no? They are angels, or they are higher beings, that God has created, that do have powers that we humans do not have. And I don't find anything wrong in choosing to connect with those spirits or those souls as well, no? They are they are not so far away from humans, but they do have supernatural powers, and I believe even humans have supernatural power. So it's like us connecting with them, it brings us humans to a higher timeline, higher understanding, and a more clear image of ourselves as well. I think that's a very beautiful thing, no? So, well, when I put myself on higher timeline or a higher plane where I see myself higher, I bring others with me higher as well. It's not about me. It is not about me. That's the point, The point is like where my mind is searching for new answers, and I cannot find them there where I allow myself to be, because it's not about necessarily how others perceive me, but it's like where I am placed, where I place myself, and what do I want to find in those places, no? So, well, to be able, as an example, to be able to write a book, I have to go in realms or in, let's call them platforms or magical fantasy realms or worlds where I can take the inspiration from. It's almost like in a dream. I envision something depending on the book, no? I can even envision like a dragon and the dragon language and how the realm looks and what happens there, and so on and so forth. So I am in a way living in another world in my mind, and I everyone believes what they want to believe, but I do believe in many things that they do exist. I do like to say, well, they do exist. Why should I say yes or no, when I can say yes? No, it's not necessarily, it's something that I want to give honor to. It's something that I wish, I hope it exists, because it's something beautiful. So there is more beauty in yes than no, no? No always takes something, and yes, it always opens a new door, opens a new type of understanding. And even if that's not true, maybe it brings me somewhere where it is something true, and it is something beautiful or something unique that I will find, no? The same with the abyss as well. We say, well, the abyss is dark, the abyss is void. There's nothing there. Why should I enter? Why should I think about that void? Why should I think about the silence? Silence is silent, and maybe I don't like silent, and there's nothing there. There's no meaning. There's just nothing, no? And if one meditates on this, one finds that in the silence you will find everything you want to know. You can ask questions and by yourself with loud voice or in your mind, and you will receive the answer. There are things that work for us, help us, guide us, and say, well, if I choose to confide myself now in this way with the world, or to see the world in this way, and I think it's not very far away than I was when I was a child, but now I have more control over it. When I was a child, maybe I would get frightened, or I will not touch or not go in that place where I found something or I felt something. But now as an adult, I honor my power to see or feel things more than I did when I was a child, because at that time I was not prepared. King Paimon say everything happens at the right time. Those moments, even if they were short when I was a child, prepared me for later for something which was greater. Not to say greater in the meaning of, oh my God, I am this amazing. It is not about the ego. On a spiritual level, the ego is almost like a pocket full of air and wrapped in plastic that has no meaning. It's not to say, well, I'm human, of course I have an ego, but I'm not speaking from that point of view, so if somebody understands or listen to me and they think I speak about me and my ego, it is the wrong understanding. It is the wrong mirror they are holding, And King Paimon has shown us the exercise with the mirror, where I always come back, because that exercise tells me everything I want to know about the world in a seashell, We can say, well, I am me. You say, well, the mirror represents in symbolic way the soul. But let's think about the mirror as a normal mirror, a normal size mirror, and that mirror represents me, and in front of me I can have 100,000 millions of other mirrors. All will show me or a reflection of me or different parts of me, depending where the mirror is situated. There will be so many. There will be left, right, in front of me, and so on and so forth, some closer, some more in the back. And you say, well, King Paimon says, yes, you are going to see yourself in those reflections, but those are not the real you. That's something that even speaks to the ego. It is not you. You are only one. That comes to in the Grimoire of Buea, very strong, where he says, they have tried to copy me, they have tried to tell me who I am, but no one can tell me who I am, because only I can say who I am. And if somebody will want to speak in my name, then stand out or stand down, because it's not who I am. There's only one me. That's the real lesson. There's only one true mirror. There's only one true reflection, and that is me, or you in your case, And all the others are just reflections. It's not a reality. It's just an illusion, like a magic trick. So it doesn't really matter in the same way. Well, I can use the other mirrors to find answers, and sometimes you're curious and you can look and say, they see me like this, or they see me like this. I see myself in this angle, I see myself, and it is part of me as well. But it's still an illusion. It's not me. It's not the real me, So some come closer to the truth, some less, So King Paimon wants to say, well, it doesn't really matter, One can do the exercise for fun or to have this understanding, but the real spiritual or occult, or like to say, well, is there a key that I want to find? That is not an important key. I say, well, it gives some type of understanding, a revelation, and it frees me from that perception of me or that illusion of me that exists in others when they see me or put their eyes upon me or talk to me or listen to me, but that is their own mirror. That what they're holding in front of me has not much to do with me. I don't have it in control, So King Paimon wants to say with this that that's not the main important to say. A lot of people look into spiritual knowledge to find themselves, and they go in all these rabbit holes and what all these other mirrors mean, and what is this and that. But that's not the real seeking of knowledge. It's not seeking myself. I should already know who I am. I should already know, and it's more like an inner work that I have to do through myself, through my own power. It has nothing to do with the knowledge around me. Because the real seeking or the real key that one has to find, or keys, is about higher knowledge that has nothing to do with the individual self. it is something that it's a collective, cosmic, like a huge revelation in the meaning of what it's like. Well, there's a consciousness inside of all of us humans. It's not only inside of me, that maybe seek to understand the secrets of life, the secrets of death, but not in a dramatic way, but almost to say, well, we would like to know, and we would like to be able to have more knowledge about it, or understand how things work, or see the truth beyond things that we don't know yet, or seek that wisdom that is still missing for us, So there's almost like a certain communication that we can have, even with the unseen part of our world, we say, well, there is always a connection to the unseen, even when we think of the past, it is a meditation process that we go into the past. We see like playing in, like a vision that plays in our minds. So it is a connection to the unseen, so we already do this, humans. We already work with the unseen, past and future, and we live in the present. So we already have the psychic gifts, or the knowledge, or the understanding how that is possible, which is great. And then after, we have to clear for ourselves what exactly knowledge, what exactly we are looking for, what exactly we feel the need to improve, So I think things can get a little more clear, more simple, but for me specifically it's about knowledge. For me specifically it's about making my heart beat, in a higher rate, in the meaning that, well, I love to learn about many other subjects, but the occult knowledge, or this type of spiritual knowledge, develops me first, develops others, and my wish now is to say, well, I believe this knowledge has the power to create a better future for the human race, that we are able to receive something that we can use then, and we can control that future in a better way, and we're able to live better life. We're able to even consume or spend our time in things that do matter, So, well, it is almost like a pleasurable hide and seek. It's like some adventurous travel or journey, and it's still fun, exciting, and it is something that it is for a higher purpose, and it is something that it is for the future. It is for the betterment of human race, for ourselves, for humans. It's very much connected to psychology, it's very much connected to philosophy, it's very much connected to the human body, everything what we know is very much connected to the astral plane, to the stars, to the cosmos. It's very much connected to the light and the darkness, and what it means, the duality that exists in our world. It's very much connected to the psychic gifts, that we even know animals have a lot of psychic gifts, and almost like the humans are relearning to understand their supernatural abilities, let's call them, because in a way they are supernatural. We humans, we developed our psychic gifts, our supernatural abilities. We are born with natural abilities, and for our lives and for training, meditation, reading, learning, we manifest this, and we create these supernatural abilities or knowledge, that we can work on a higher timeline, or work on in a higher consciousness, or connect with each other, in a different way. But I like mostly to keep my work more inner work. It's more a private thing for me, but it's always a pleasure to connect with others who seek this type of knowledge or learn about this. For me, it is a very highly intellectual work, finally, it is not easy to understand necessarily, but I think we are getting there, things are becoming more normal in this field as well, and one can well, King Paimon says the most honest road is the road through yourself, not so much through the knowledge of others. That's why his knowledge is a little bit general, what I'm talking about now. But if one works more specifically with King Paimon, he will give you the visions, or he will, if it's meant to be, he will, or the way he showed me, he does show me visions or things, or in my, or more like a lucid dreaming type of vision, where I I'm able to meet him in real life, in the meaning of, well, I see him in the vision, but I interact with him, and it has been, I feel it now in the present time happening, but it's something that has happened in the past. It is presented myself in the past. Sometimes I cannot even say the timeline, which time it is, no? Timeline, sometimes time flies away and you cannot, you don't have always a watch to see when and how. Because time is, of course, something that we human create. It's not to say that time doesn't exist. Time is infinite, no? But we characterize it in some way or another, and then we have some, we have the numbers. Okay, it's 30 minutes, 1 hour, it's Tuesday. We created a system as well, which is a very old system that, the human race has developed. Very beautiful, no? The connection to the stars, it was very deep rooted in ourselves humans, and now we are almost like remembering those things, connecting to ourselves more to the timeline where humans had the most important part of human civilization was the spirituality, was that connection to the spirit, was that connection to the stars, was that connection to nature, no? Because you cannot have one without another, but in a very mystical, but in a very clear and serious way, because spiritualism is not about how many stars tattoos I have on my back. It's not about how braided my hair is, or I don't want to make fun, but of course, if one has eyes to see, it's there. It's not like one cannot distinguish what I'm talking about and the reality, or it's like, well, it is serious knowledge, so one should understand it and take it as a serious approach, not something that one can play with it as in kindergarten, no? But it is something beautiful, because I think even as children, no, it's like that's why I say it's very embedded in ourselves, no? We ask questions. We are children. We look at the stars. We feel such a beautiful connection to the stars. We ask our parents. We want to know already these answers, no? We are very much connected since a younger age. Most of the children, if not all of the children, go through this phase. Sometimes we receive answers, but most of the time we don't, or we don't like the answers, and then it is a search that some of us decide to further on, even in our adult life. No, it is connected to fantasy, because connected to the mind, and if you connect to the mind to things that you don't know yet, surely it is in a way fantasy, but it's not. It's not to take it from that importance of the question, because the question is very important. The question does carry a lot of weight. It is very significant, no? So it is, well, the keys or the mastery, or you say, well, King Paimon says it is helpful to think like that. In the same time, it takes away from ourselves, no? To say the real master is the one who masters himself. Everything comes back to ourselves. Say that the real key you have already, no? The real knowledge, it is already in reach. It is already in you. Once you answer the question by you answer the question by making the question, no? Otherwise, if the question doesn't arise, the answer will not arise. You see how things move. To say there is always a scale, there's always a balance, there's always, here you go, here it is, no? Or here it is, here you go. There's always like a little pendulum that moves. It's very gentle. It's very, I think children are fascinated to see like these movements, like little scale, no? It moves left and right, or something that moves repeatedly in the same way, even as the way birds fly, no? They come, they go, there's a trajectory, there's a journey, there's a road, there's something happening, no? So there is this type of curiosity, this type of interest, this type of understanding. And I think a book is something that gives you the journey, that you don't have to find it for yourself, but you are curious to see how it happened for others, no? And then you can learn from that, and it takes you on a travel, it takes you on a journey as well. When you read the book of King Paimon, you travel through time. It is a travel through time. It is a beautiful experience, because they say, well, knowledge is just the wings of love, no? Because, so, well, if the wings will not be there and the love will not be there, there will be no knowledge. say, well, love and knowledge are brothers and sisters, no? They say, well, there is, and the wings are the time, no, that we are moving through. This is, you know, the beautiful cosmology of everything that exists. Everything is cosmos. Everything has a particle of the creation, no? And that particle is found in everything. So there is not so much to separate, than more to unite. There's not so much to, you know, but say, for that to happen, we have to have clear mind, we have to have clear understanding and true knowledge of the spiritual realm, of the occult knowledge. It's not to make it in something very bad and scary and horrible and terrible, even if that it has its purpose. It's very important, you know, that we work too with the dark elements of our souls, the fear, the interest, you know, we have the two in ourselves, and that carries a lot of knowledge, but not to create it in this pseudo type of science of the occult that, oh my God, it's like, you know, that goes in a mind that is not healthy, you know. The same way with the spiritual part, going into things are like the rainbow light, and you know, it creates it almost like a joke, you know, and it's not a joke. And so, well, there are some people who are not able to do it differently, no? But if it gives them happy, you know, King Paimon is not very strict. He is really an artist, a magician, so he's able to say, well, in the same time there is a difference from the past, you know, and the future. So, well, in the past things like that never truly happened, no? People took these things in very serious matter, or they lived a more humble, quiet life, which was already very much connected with nature without them doing too much. You know, of that silence. The world had that silence already worked through it itself. At our days, it's more like we have to look for that silence, to search for it, no, to find time to protect it, and so on and so forth. So, I think books are a great source of knowledge, because the people who reach out and are able to write books and publish, they have already gone through a lot of tests. They already have mastered their craft to be able to create that book, no? And that's always a very correct source to receive knowledge. But King Paimon say the most important work of knowledge in itself is by yourself, is through yourself. That's the true key. No, it's not to say the others have the key and I have to borrow them. No. They are not your keys, okay? You can borrow, you can buy, you know, say, well, I have this book and it is a key for me and it is perfectly fine. But the true work, no, of human in general, it is to work on himself or herself, through acquiring different tastes, different flavors, different experience in life. No, everything is included in the experience. It doesn't have to be anything intellectual all the time. No, not at all. But you know, like a little bit of everything. No, but King Paimon wants to say the connection towards King Paimon does bring a new line, a new timeline, that things do work out perfectly fine, that things do change, like a code is changed, no? It's like there's something for you there, there's something written in the stars, no? So, well, some connections are fated, no, if not most of all, but when one reaches higher type of knowledge, most of the time King Paimon says those connections are 100% connected, timelined for a certain purpose. There is a certainty that comes with that as well, and one knows, no, when you have the spiritual knowledge inscribed in yourself with your own work, you're able to read those messages. You don't need to question so much. Those answers are given. Those answers are coming to you very easily. That's the work of King Paimon as well, no? To help that barrier crush down, and that information, that knowledge can flow through you and can reach you in the way that it is very beautiful, very enigmatic as well. No, it is not to say knowledge is not just a simple sentence that we have been taught in school. Here it is, which is dry and cut through. No, it doesn't bring any excitement. But the seeking of knowledge as well, and finding of knowledge, is that adrenaline boost as well. No, at the same time, Of course, it's not about that, but that fuels that. It can be positive, and it becomes positive in the moment that one knows how to use it. It's like a fire that has been kindled, and then, you know, with the spiritual knowledge, in general, with the knowledge that one acquires, is able to keep the fire in a beautiful flame, no? The flame of knowledge, the flame of our own soul, being happy, discovering things that we want in ourselves to discover truly and purposely, for good things. Thank you so much for listening. I will leave this recording here. As I've said, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'll be more than happy for more subscribers, so please subscribe. I will be more than grateful, and you can always have notifications from me when my recordings appear, or other things that I talk about, even other books that I've written, but King Paimon is the one I speak mostly about, because it includes all of it, so to say. Now it's more big thematic that I am trying to cover. My books, all my books that I have written, are found on Amazon. In my description box on the channel, you can find my author page. If you click on the link, you're going to see all my books on Amazon. And in this description of the video, you have the link to my book, King Paimon, Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss. So check that out if you would love to have it. Definitely recommend it. It's a very beautiful book. And if you're not, then you can enjoy my recordings and me talking about different knowledge or different things that come through. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.